Greater Good Radio. Connect, learn, heal, and grow. Shaman shared with us a really, really powerful story that brought it all kind of together. And what he shared, and this is my, rendition, so it's not going to be exact, but he talked about a village in Peru. And a young boy came out of his teepee, went across the field to the arroyo, where he saw an old man holding a knife, crying in the river. And the boy was curious, so he went to the man and he said, "Old man, well, what's wrong? What's going on?" And the man looked at him and he said, "Young boy, I hold this knife for as long as I can remember. I use it for protection, but every time I use it, it hurts me, it cuts me, and everyone I love. But I can't let it go." The boy says, "Well, why can't you let it go?" And he says, "Because I may need it for the future." And the boy thought about it and he said, "Okay." And before he even knew what was going on, the boy grabs the knife from the man, takes it, and runs back home. And the man realizes he doesn't have this knife anymore. He feels the burden relieved. He moves on. Fast forward 70 years, right? A young girl named Ayahuasca comes across the field to the river where she sees that boy who's now an old man holding the knife, crying in the river. And she asks him, "Old man, why are you crying? What's wrong?" And he says, "I've had this knife for as long as I can remember. I hold it for protection. And every time I use it, it cuts me and it cuts everyone I know. It causes so much pain, but I can't leave this knife." She says, "Why can't you leave it?" She said, "Because I may need it for the future." And the girl thought about it and she said, "I don't know if I can do anything about this, but come back to my village and talk to my grandmother. My grandmother may be able to help you." So she takes the man there to meet the grandmother. And grandmother looks at the young girl, looks at the man and says, "Granddaughter, you did the right thing. This is not your burden. You go meet with your family and eat." So she leaves. She tells the man what's going on. And he tells her, "I've had this knife as long as I've lived. I can't let it go. When I use it, it cuts me and everyone around me. It causes so much pain." And grandmother tells him, "I can't take that knife from you. I'm not going to do that. But what I'll do is I'll put my hands under here. And when you're ready, you let it go and I will catch it." And that man, because she was holding the space, took everything that he could. And when he let it go, before it hit her hand, it turned to light and it went everywhere. So the piece in that story is that all of these burdens that we hold, that we think we need, the protections that we think we need, when we release them, it turns to light and it goes everywhere. And that's the story that was left with me during that ceremony.
That's a great story.
Yeah. Because it's not going to hurt anybody else. It's okay.
But you're right. But we hide behind it because we've been hiding them behind these little walls for so long and we're just comfortable there. That's why we don't want to let go of that knife.
Yep.
And, once we get to the point that this is not serving me and this is the real root of the problem, we can let go of these bricks and be vulnerable. And that's the hard thing. Now, all of a sudden, I'm exposed. What are people going to say? And you're going to find out that it's okay.
If you resonate with Greater Good Radio, please join our community at www.greatergoodradio.com, where you can get access to exclusive content and offerings. Hope to see you soon.